What's going on? Well, I'm at the PMC this week. That would be the Production Music Conference for the Production Music Association. It's always a great event. Always. I love going to it. It's my third year, and I recommend anybody who's in film and TV music or wants to get into it, wants to learn this business. Anybody who's wanting to get into this music licensing thing, I'm telling you, get involved with that. You'll learn so much about just things going on in the industry. You'll learn about what these guys are looking for with how to structure tracks. You know, there are libraries and supervisors and editors here, and composers are telling you how to structure it, what to and what not to do. Just a lot of great information. I mean, I was in some panels today where they started talking about, you know, how they break it down and what they were looking for. Some things that I already knew about, but there were also, you know, a lot of other great information. I'll actually be, tomorrow's the last day of it, so I'll actually be in a panel tomorrow morning, and it'll break down some other cool composing techniques on, like, writing several cues into one without them sounding the same, and some cool tools to use. I mean, these guys will tell you, you know, what they're using. Some of the plugins, the VST, some of the samples, you know, that are instrument based. A lot of stuff that you create your own stuff with, which is something I want to touch on here in a minute. Just some things that you learn, and I think the biggest thing you get out of the PMC is simply this: you learn more from each other than probably you do in those panels. The people you meet, other composers, a lot of these libraries you talk to, you make great connections. You know, each year you go, you'll get to know them, and you talk to them each year. You might not link with them, you might not get any music with them, but you're slowly but surely, as time goes on, you're making great connections with these guys. It takes a little while, I'm not going to lie, it takes a little while to learn how these guys think, and my third year, I'm still learning. Some of these guys are hard nut to crack. Some of them they love to talk, you know. And I think a lot of them is like, you know, here's my card, here's my email, send me some music. I mean, I think it boils down to the end of the day, they want to know what music you're doing and what you're made of. Some of these guys you send music to, some of you may know, they're pretty damn picky. I'll tell you, in comparison to one publisher I work with who's pretty picky, and I've learned to work with him. I don't mind it. It makes other people mad, and you know, you gotta understand, if you work for them, they're gonna work for you. Get used to learning how to do the edits and work with these guys. It's gonna make you a better composer, for one, but number two, it's just gonna make you more resilient and be able to learn who you're working with. One library and one composer, he's an incredible composer. I think I've mentioned him before. Go look him up. He's got a library called Crime Sonics. His name is Dan Brown Jr. He won a Mark Award last night, and I mean to tell you, the guy's an amazing composer. You can look him up on YouTube. He nails it. This guy's picky down to he'll analyze the whole waveform at verse and down to certain frequencies, an exact point in the song, and tell you the exact frequency. And he's right, you know. He's got an ear. I don't know how he does it. Some people are just so meticulous and are wired in such a way that they're perfectionists, you know. And that alone will make you a better composer, because these guys, they're giving you critiques. They're not putting you down. They're actually trying to help you. And I think that's the most important thing that composers don't understand, is that they're giving you valuable information and trying to help you. You know, the old saying that I learned is they can teach you technique, but they can't teach you instinct. And that's where you just got to go out and learn, and you got to find your niche, and you just got to learn the basics. It's like learning this business. You got to learn this business before you start sending music out. So I just want to get in here and just say you will gain so much value and so much knowledge out of going to the PMC if you ever get a chance to do it. You know, I will say, before you go, learn the business, get involved, and just get with people who are going to give you information. I did a 5-part video, talk about some things. I put some links to some guys that are really good and will teach you this business, and they won't send you down the wrong path to give you wrong information. Just, you know, go follow those guys. Take their courses. It's worth it. I'm telling you right now. Do it, do it, do it, do it. If you're interested in this business. Some of you on here watching this saying, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know some of the things that a lot of these libraries are frustrated with. Like, I was at a panel today where huge library, and to give you an idea who was in the panel, was a guy from EMI, huge guy from I think BMG and some other big libraries, and the guy goes, can't tell you how many emails I get where people want to just tell me what school they graduated from and their life story and all this stuff. And I talked about that video. Don't do all that. Just give them a good link to music. Just tell them that you're a composer and the type of music, and that you appreciate their consideration, their time and considerations. You look forward to working with them. Thank them. But, I also said go research these libraries too. Get on there. They talk about these things. They talk about the frustrations they get of composers need to learn this business before they're sending us music, because can't do anything with your life story, but we can with your music if you have the right music. If you learn how to do this, you'll do it, and you'll do it well. So anyway, I just want to get on and say that it's going well this week. Tomorrow's the last day of it. Of course, if anything spectacular happens, I'll jump on and talk about it. But I'm just, if anybody's wondering, the PMC each year in Hollywood is the one to hit. It is, in fact, today, if anybody knew who Paul Williams is, he played Little Enos on Smokey and the Bandit. Paul Williams was the keynote speaker today. And an amazing story. He's written some of the biggest songs for people in music history. I mean, he's written for the Carpenters, for Barbra Streisand, you name it. He's gone on and on. He's helped write the Love Boat theme. He's did a lot of things. Didn't know all this for years until I guess maybe about a few years ago, just how deep this whole thing was. But nicest guy, great story. I got a chance to speak to him for a little bit. But, you get speakers, big-time composers like this that have scored big films that come talk at these panels and are giving you good advice. And it's really something to, it's just something that I think everybody should do at least once. This is my third year. I love doing it. I go each year, so I keep up one with stuff in the industry, but I go for number two to just keep up and get some face time with the publishers I'm working with, meet with them a little bit, and I get that accomplished alone. Spend some time with these guys that I'm writing music for. Not all the publishers I work with go to this conference. I know one of them doesn't. But, you make good contacts. I was eating lunch with a guy today that he's here in Los Angeles, and he specializes in dark tension music. I've been writing gobs of that stuff. And I was like, is this a certain type of tension? He says, tension across the board. That's really their forte. He said, I'm doing a lot of the action tension type stuff for The Challenge on MTV and stuff, but it was a great conversation I had with him. He was sitting right there at the table with me, got his card, and he's like, man, send me some music, That's how these things happen. You've got that big directory, but they're not sitting next to you eating lunch with you at the table either. And that's how it works. There's a lot of value in that conference, and I recommend you do it. Anyway, until the next time, peace.